ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सह गणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। भक्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी वशाने विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। So welcome everyone to IBC Shiksha. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 and from verse number 20. Yeah, I think verse number 20 is where we had
27.
20.
7.
What?
No. Just I asked you which. It's okay, Prabhuji. When yesterday we finished 19, no?
Okay, so let's continue with 20th. When the embodied being is been able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and disease, and the distress, and can enjoy nectar in this law, even in this life. So, once when one is able to transcend the three modes, then he can become free of birth, death, old age, and distress. How um, how that happens? Krishna is going to Arjuna is going to ask this, and Krishna is going to explain in the next few verses. How can one stay in the transcendental position even in this body in full Krishna consciousness? Is explained in this verse. Um,
By means of devotional service, Prabhuji?
yes, that is the answer. Yeah, the Sanskrit word Dehi means embodied. Although one is within this material body, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from influence of the modes of material nature. He can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life even in this body, because after leaving this body, he is certainly going to the spiritual sky. But even in this body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is a sign of liberation from material entanglement, and this will be explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of three modes, he enters into devotional service. Arjuna inquires, O my lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior, and how does he transcend the modes of material nature? So, what are the symptoms? What is his behavior, and how does he do that? That is our basic question, right? So
Yes.
Arjuna has asked that question on our behalf. In this verse, Arjuna questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptom of a person who has already transcended the material modes. He first inquires the symptoms of such transcendental person. How can one understand that he has already transcended the influence of three modes of material nature? The second question is, how does he live, and what his activities are? Are they regulated or non-regulated? Then Arjuna inquires of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature. That is very important. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendentally, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. All these questions put by Arjuna are very important, and the Lord answers them. Okay. So yeah. Someone read this translation.
Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the immaterial qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise or in blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friends and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature.
Yeah. So one of the theme here is he does not hate. He doesn't have envy. So he remains neutral, transcendental, meaning he's very equipoised. Okay. He regards happiness and distress to be the same. He looks at lump of earth, stone, and piece of gold with an equal eye. Hmm? So Krishna talked about this in previous chapters, right? Pandita, Samadarsha Pandita. So same thing is mentioning here. And we read, at the start that this knowledge is loved by the sages. And the sages then, become equipoised and thus they transcend the three modes. Okay. They are steady, they are equal in praise and blame, honor, dishonor. They look both friend and enemy to be the same. They don't make a difference. Okay.
But Arjuna submitted three different questions, and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendentally situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. When a living entity stays in his material world, embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the three modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers from the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material modes in the body will act, but as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become?
Yeah. So this yesterday also someone asked that it is very difficult to be in this mode of goodness and transcend the three modes, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So the easiest way is to become devotee of Krishna. When we become devotee of Krishna, then we can transcend the three modes. So that is the key. Sometimes there are these munis and sadhus who have not developed devotion for Krishna. So they will externally try all these things. Okay. They will externally try. Like Vishwamitra, he tried his best to become, free from attachment, delusion, and all that. But his heart was not purified, na. So the moment he heard Menaka's
yeah.
bell, ankle bell sound, he became disturbed. So the power of devotional services, it purifies the heart. And once the heart is purified, then there is no question of sense gratification. So in this regard, I will tell you a nice story that I personally saw. I personally heard from this devotee. So this lady devotee was saying that um, if she goes for shopping,
Mm.
her her best shopping addiction, like addiction in sense, what she likes to shop the most is diamonds.
Okay.
So you can imagine how rich she may be.
Yeah.
If she goes for shopping, she shops diamonds. Okay, but she was pretty, you know, she liked diamonds so much that every time she used to buy, and she had a lot of knowledge of diamonds, and you know, she would go length to buy these diamonds. Then later she came to Krishna consciousness, and you know, started associating with devotees. And then devotees explained to her that we should offer everything to Krishna. So one fine day, she bought a diamond and she offered it to Krishna.
Okay.
Mm.
And something happened in her heart,
Mm.
and she felt like I need to offer all the diamonds to Krishna. So she started making jewelry for Krishna, offer all the diamonds. You know, these are real diamonds, okay, not imitative diamonds, but real
Mm.
diamonds. And she said over a period of time she lost interest in diamonds,
Mm.
and
Mm.
now she is more interested in what Krishna likes. So she went through this transformation,
Mm.
and
Some from
she
passion to goodness.
what?
From passion to goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And and we hear this story, you know, of thief who hears in a Bhagavad in a Bhagavad you know, story that Krishna is very beautiful. He's in Vrindavan. He has lot of jewels, so he wants to steal. And with this consciousness, he reaches Vrindavan,
Mm.
and there he's looking for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And he becomes completely, you know, absorbed. Where is Krishna? Where is that boy? And suddenly
Mm.
Krishna appears, and
Mm.
then he wants to take the jewel, but then he stops, and Krishna says, okay, take this jewel. And he says, no, 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 I don't want this. The jewel looks good on you. So
Mm.
he lost that ability, that, you know, sense gratification ability when one does devotional service to Krishna. It's a very automatic thing. Like when we become devotees, some things that we like to do, we just give it up, right? We give it up easily. Some things we don't give it up so easily, but some things we really, really give up easily. Can anyone share what did they give up so easily that they thought that I couldn't give up, but I just gave it up? I don't know how.
No more interest for that particular thing.
Yeah. So what example can you give from your personal life?
For example, I say I like sweets very much.
Oh,
But
okay.
then one fine day I decide no, everything should be offered to Krishna and no more eating of sweets.
Okay, 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 okay.
A small example.
Yeah.
Onion
So
and garlic left.
so you know, so there are many sweet shops,
Yeah.
but now you are no more interested in buying in them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Only the sweet that is offered to Krishna you are interested in eating, right?
Correct. So
Yeah,
that becomes
yeah. Any other devotee?
And
Hare Krishna,
onion I
Prabhuji.
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue, Mataji. I'll tell afterwards.
No problem. Onion I left.
Onion, yeah, yeah. Onion, right? Onion. Some people
Garlic
really
anyhow
like
I was
onion.
not. Garlic I didn't like from my childhood only.
Ah,
Onion I was liking it, but after coming to this Krishna conscious, I left it.
and then everyone in the family is like, oh, what happened to you?
Yeah.
You were always giving onion tadka. And no more onion tadka. Where it went?
You're telling how
Right?
you become sannyasini.
Yeah. You have become sannyasi and all that they will say, right?
no,
Okay.
but actually it tastes better than adding the onion in the foodstuffs, you know. Nowadays I
See,
feel like that.
it is a matter of consciousness. Okay, when mode of goodness increases, right?
Yeah.
Then without onion we start liking. But when we are
Correct.
in passionate, then we may not like it.
Once in a blue moon, even if I prepare, I don't like the taste of the very food item.
Mhm.
It has become like that now.
Okay. Any other devotee?
Yes,
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. For me, I mean, tea. I had lot of tea addiction. I used to
Hmm.
drink 3, 4 times. I found it very difficult to give it up. But suddenly one day I decided when I started chanting 12
Yeah.
rounds, I thought I should somehow give this up. Then I found it little difficult, but so finally I gave up, Prabhuji.
Okay. 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 Good. Good.
I too wanna share, Prabhuji.
Yeah. 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 Tell.
Uh, like I have a lot of interest for dramas and movies.
Hmm.
So much so that I won't sleep in the night. Whole night I'll watch and whole morning I'll sleep. On
Oh, okay.
weekends, that used to be my schedule, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
now
Yeah. True. True.
uh, that is replaced by pastimes.
Yeah.
So
Good. Good.
yeah.
Good. So yeah. So this is the power of devotional service. It acts on us even though we are not pure devotees, right?
Correct.
But we are in the path to become pure devotees.
Yes. Really.
Okay.
Very nice.
Hmm. Okay. Continue reading this part. He does not desire to.
He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendently situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. The next question concerns the dealings of a transcendently situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body, but the transcendently situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness. And he does not hate this his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed of and sees everything as on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, like Hanuman, he didn't accept anything for himself.
Mm.
When Sita gave the
Chudamani.
necklace of pearls, right? He looked at it and he said, "Is there Ram in it? No.
Mm.
Is there Ram in it? No." And he's not interested in those pearls
Mm.
at all. So, like that, so many Prabhupada disciples, they gave up their life, and they took to this life of selfless service, right?
Mm.
In our youth, or we are always thinking about job, money, maintenance and all that, but they never thought of it. Like, Prabhupada was traveling in a train and he said to one disciple, "You get down here and start a temple." And that disciple just got out and he went to preaching,
Mm.
with zero help. So this is what it is. Okay. Yeah, so this is a very important verse, 9.26. Sorry, not 9.26, 14.26.
14.26.
माम च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते सगुणान समीयेतान ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. So Krishna specifically uses the word bhakti yoga. And he says, one who engages in full devotion service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Brahman is where the three modes don't affect. It is in pure goodness. So what is the mean of attaining this Brahman state and above the three modes? The answer is engaging in full devotional service.
Full devotional service.
So Krishna he very specifically uses Mam Chayo Vibhicharan for Bhakti Yoga, which is directed towards me. Okay, so this is a very important verse. Let's go to our doc. Okay. This verse is a reply to Arjuna's third question. What is the means of attaining to the transcendental position? As explained before, the material world is acting under the spell of modes of material nature. One should not be disturbed by the activities of the modes of nature. Instead of putting his consciousness in such activities, he may transfer his consciousness to Krishna consciousness, Krishna's activities. So like every one of us gave the example, right? We are trying to do the same thing. We are trying to put our consciousness on Krishna. Krishna's activities are known as Bhakti Yoga. Always acting for Krishna. This includes not only Krishna but his plenary expansions such as Rama, Narayana, Varaha, Narsimha. Can you tell the names of plenary expansions of Krishna?
Matsya Kurma Varaha.
Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, Narsimha,
Parashurama,
Parashurama,
Gautama,
Gautam,
Balarama, then
Balaram,
Rama, Balarama, Krishna, Buddha, and then Kalki.
Anything more?
Rishabhadev.
Hayagriva, Rishabdev,
Yeah.
Kapiladev,
Kapil Dev, yes, Kapila Muni.
Kapila Mahamuni.
Anything more?
Vyasadeva,
Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana,
Sankarshana,
Ananta Shesha. Anything
So
more?
many avatars.
Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu, Paramatma. So all these different expansions are there, right? To any one of them, Bhakti Yoga can be done. Okay?
Okay.
So he has innumerable expansions. Lord Chaitanya. We forgot Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya is
One who is engaged in the service of any forms of Krishna or his plenary expansion is considered to be transcendentally situated. One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge and eternal. So expansion means there is no reduction in the original. The original and the expanded form both are having the same potencies. There is no difference. There is no difference.
That's why in even in Vrindavan, Prabhuji, when Brahma kidnapped that cowherd boys and calves and cows and everything, so Krishna expanded himself
in four-handed forms of Vishnu.
Yeah.
Why he chose four-handed form of Vishnu? Why not any other form?
To show Brahma.
So Brahma, he worships Shwetadeepa Krishna. So Brahma's deity is present on the earth. Where it is? Do you know?
Brahma's deity?
Yeah, Brahma's personal deity. Like we all have our own personal deity, right? Gaurnita deity. So Brahma's deity is present on earth. Where it is? Do you know that?
No.
It is in south.
Basara Prabhuji?
No.
Sorry.
It's in south. You know, Sri Ramanujarya's, he stayed there. His body is still there. What place is that called?
Sriparambattur?
Sringeri?
No.
Sriparambattur.
No. I have heard this, but I don't remember now.
What is the other name for Tirchi?
Tirunapalli.
Srirangam. Yeah, Srirangam Ranganatha is the personal deity of Brahma. So we have our own deities and all that, right?
Yeah.
Ranganath Swami is the personal deity of Brahma. Okay? So this is the deity that he worships.
Okay.
So this deity, he had given it to sun god, sun gave it to Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku gave it to Lord Ram. Then Vibhishan who took it, but there was another devotee in Sri Rangam who wanted it. And then the Lord said, I want to stay in Sri Rangam only. Then
So
Vibhishan
Ganesh,
said what to do. Then he said, I will keep looking in
Ganesh,
south. So this is the only deity which looks at south, Sri Rangam.
Mm.
So this is the personal deity. And this deity is going to go away. Back to Brahmaji.
okay, it will not stay here.
Yeah, it is not going to stay here. It is going to go away. So it was given on rent. So that rent is going. So for that period is going to get over.
How do you know this, Prabhuji?
It is the story, Ranganath story.
Okay.
If I get that story, I will post it in the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
when it will be going away?
After the,
That also will take millions of years. Don't worry.
the delusion of
So
the
yeah, we don't have to worry. You know, it's going to be there for next million years. So don't worry. For Brahma, it is going to be few days. You know, or not few days, few hours actually. So he has given it for like half a day.
Okay.
Yeah, he's given it for half a day or something like that. So yeah, so this is his personal deity. So because he knows Krishna to be 400 form only, and here Krishna is 200 form playing. So to make him remind, I am the same Ranganath, he showed 400 form of Krishna. He showed 400 form of Narayan. And then Brahma saying, oh, that means my Lord is here. Oh, Govinda, 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 Govinda. Then he understood. Okay. So where are we? Yes. So such personality of God are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendent qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna or his plenary expansions with unfailing determination, although these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, one can overcome them easily. This is already been explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders onto Krishna at once surmounts the influence of modes of material nature. Daivi eshi gunu maya mama maya durattaya. If you know that verse, this Daivi eshi gunu maya mama maya durattaya. Very difficult. Very difficult to overcome. Right? Let's see. Very difficult to overcome. Devi Eshi Gunu 7.14. Devi, I think 7.14. I think so. Yeah. Maybe. 7.40. Okay. Devi Eshi Gunu Maya Mama Maya Durattaya Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. Mayam Etam Tarantite. The divine energy of mind, this divine energy consisting of the 3 modes of material nature. So this is Mahamaya, is difficult to overcome. But those who surrendered onto me, prapadyante, surrender. Why would how one should surrender? Under bhakti. Only they can cross beyond it. So this is the verse Prabhupada is saying. To be in Krishna conscious or in devotion means to acquire equality with Krishna. Equality with Krishna. Equality with Krishna means what?
Equal to Krishna in
So we become Krishna?
No.
No, Prabhuji.
No,
we will
what
never
happens?
become equal with Krishna.
From 78% or 80%.
Okay. I'll give you an example. See, our Prime Minister has a secretary. Now the Prime Minister has to go to United States. So he flies in his personal plane and all that. What happens to a secretary? Even he has to go now. So what happens to a secretary?
He will also travel with him, Prabhuji.
Yeah, he will travel with him. So technically, The Prime Minister is enjoying the airplane, is enjoying the 5-star hotel, is enjoying the food, is enjoying, is having that facility. What and the secretary is also having the same facility. So that is equality. Okay, so that is equality. So that is what it means. So Krishna is beyond the 3 modes. He is the controller of the 3 modes. So when we become equal with Krishna means we reach a place where Krishna is without it, without the 3 modes, the influence of 3 modes. So we reach that place. Okay, so 3 modes don't affect us.
That is a spiritual world, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah, and it can happen in this material world also. If Krishna desires, the 3 modes should not affect us. And he did that to Dhruva. Dhruva stayed on this material world 36,000 years. And he didn't become old. Krishna told, your senses all will be strong. For 36,000 years, his senses was very strong, like a young boy. So the 3 modes didn't affect him. Because Krishna desired. So when Krishna desires, so the servant of the king lives like the king. Right? The servant of the king lives like the king. But he never becomes equal to the king. He lives as equal to the king. But he never becomes equal to the king. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is what it means to acquire equality with Krishna. The Lord says that his nature is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge, and the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme, as gold particles are part of the gold mine. Thus, living entity in his spiritual position is as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of the individuality continues. Otherwise, there is no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means there is a devotee and there is exchange of love between the Lord and the devotee. So the individuality has to be there, right? Without individuality, there cannot be exchange, right? To have an exchange, there has to be 2 people. You cannot exchange with oneself, right? You need to exchange with another person. Okay. Therefore, the individuality to present is present in the world, present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual person. Otherwise, there is no meaning of Bhakti Yoga. If one is not situated in the same transcendental position with the Lord, one cannot serve the Lord, serve the Supreme Lord. To be personal assistant to the king, one must acquire the qualifications. Thus, the qualification to become Brahman or freed from all material contamination. Thus, the qualification is to become Brahman or freed from all material contamination. It is said in Vedic literature, Brahmaeva san Brahmapi eti. One can attain the Supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman. This means that one must qualitatively become one with the Brahman. By attainment of Brahman, one does not lose his eternal Brahman identity as an individual soul. Now, I will give you a very nice example which will explain. So, what is, okay, we'll focus on this line, okay, because this can be very, very confusing. One can become Brahman, one can attain Supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman. Okay, we'll focus on this line. And we'll take an example. Marriage between man and woman. Okay? And what we say? They have become one. Now, have they become one or they are still 2?
They have become one.
Yeah, they have become one, but they are still 2, right?
They are still 2. They are still 2.
Yeah. And what does mean? That they become one in purpose. Okay. And then the woman who was not at all related to the man before the marriage has now become as equal to the man. To such an extent that the wife is representative of husband. Right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Suddenly you become representative and she becomes a legal owner of the property of her husband. Right?
Correct.
One fine day, everything she gets. Husband's car, husband's property, everything becomes hers.
Yes, bank balance.
What is the qualification? that she has become wife. She has agreed to become the wife. So the qualification is to become wife. Here the qualification is to become the Brahman, free from three modes. And then one has equality with the Supreme Lord. Okay? And then there is exchange between man and woman. Even though they are one, there is exchange. Right? Like that. So it is like this. It's like a marriage.
Okay.
Okay. Now Krishna says, you become Brahman. Now question is, let's go here. Brahman realization is not something recommended, but Krishna's service is recommended. Then why he is saying Brahman? So he says Brahman because there are three kinds of Brahman realization. Okay? So one Brahman realization word means three things. What are the three things?
Lord is also called Brahman, Prabhuji, and Jiva is also called Brahman.
Parabrahman.
Paramatma.
Paramatma, Parabrahman. He is called Parabrahman. But the realization of the Lord in Brahman realization, then Paramatma and Bhagavan realization, is all three is called Brahman realization. Now Krishna says he is the basis of all impersonal Brahman. Okay? Because one will say, oh, you have to become Brahman. But Krishna is saying, I am that Brahman. Okay? And I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of the ultimate happiness. The constitution of Brahman is immortality, imperishability, eternity, and happiness. Brahman is the beginning of transcendental realization. So Brahman realization is the beginning of transcendental realization. Paramatma is the middle of the second of the transcendental realization, and the Bhagwan aspect, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the ultimate realization. So when we say Brahman realization, it means the three also. Okay? Therefore, both Paramatma and impersonal Brahman are within the Supreme Person. So therefore, Krishna is saying that Brahman, it rests on me. I am the producer of that Brahman. Okay? It is explained in the 7th chapter that material nature is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Lord. Meaning the Maya, or Mahamaya, it is the material nature. So it expands into this matter, earth, water, air, fire, ether, like that. The Lord impregnates the inferior material energy with fragments of superior nature, and that is the superior touch in the material nature. When the living entity conditioned by this material nature begins the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, he elevates himself from the position of material existence and gradually rises up to Brahman conception of the Supreme. This attainment of Supreme conception of life is the very first stage of self-realization. At this stage, the Brahman realized person is transcended to the material position and he is not actually perfect in Brahman realization. If he wants, he can continue to stay in Brahman position and then gradually rise up to Paramatma realization and then to the realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Bhagavan realization. Okay, so Brahma Jyoti realization, better than that is Paramatma realization, better than Paramatma realization is Bhagavan aspect. Yeah. There are many examples of this in Vedic literature. There were 4 Kumaras. So 4 Kumaras were Brahman realized. And once they reached the heaven, the Vaikuntha planets, there they smelled the Tulsi. And by that Tulsi, the devotion in them, arise. And they arise directly into Bhagavan realization. And that's how they, even though they were Brahman realized, they became devotee realized. They became devotees at that point. They gradually rose to the platform of devotion service. One who cannot elevate himself beyond the impersonal conception of Brahman runs a risk of falling down. So in this Brahman realization, what happens is there is Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. But there is no bliss. There is no activity going on. I will show you a picture, then we will understand. And because there is no activity going on, once there is peace, then someone wants to do something. So then he doesn't know, na, there is Paramatma, there is Bhagwan. So he comes back to this earth. He comes back to this earth. And therefore there is a risk of falling down. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that although a person may rise to the stage of impersonal Brahman without going further with no information of the Supreme Person, his intelligence is not perfectly clear. Therefore, in spite of being raised to the Brahman platform, there is a chance of falling down if he is not engaged in devotion service. So, devotion service is what transcends one from Brahman realization to Bhagwan realization. And even from the lower where there is no realization, and devotional service can transcend directly to Brahman realization. Okay. In the Vedic language, it is said when one understands the personal Godhead, the reservoir of pleasure of Krishna, he actually becomes transcendently blissful. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is full in 6 opulences. We read the 6 opulences, right? What are the 6 opulences? All wealth, all strength,
Beauty,
all fame,
Beauty,
all renunciation, all knowledge, and all beauty. Right? And we discussed that, if someone has even little of one of the thing, people become attracted to that person. Right? Actor, actresses, sports person, renunciates. A little bit they have. So what to speak of Krishna, who is full of it? And when a devotee approaches him, there is an exchange of 6 opulences. The servant of a king enjoys on an almost equal level with the king. And so eternal happiness, imperishable happiness, eternal life accompany devotional service. Therefore, realization of Brahman or eternity or imperishability is included in devotional service. So devotional service includes Paramatma realization and Brahman realization both. Okay. This is already possessed by a person who is engaged in devotional service. Okay. Somebody read this last paragraph.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Okay, go ahead.
The living entity, although Brahman by nature, has a desire to lord it over the material world, and due to this, he falls down. In his constitutional position, a living entity is above the 3 modes of material nature, but association with material nature entangles him in the different modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Due to the association of these 3 modes, his desire to dominate the material world is there. By engagement in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, he is immediately situated in the transcendental position, and his unlawful desire to control material nature is removed. Therefore, the process of devotional service, beginning with hearing, chanting, remembering the prescribed 9 methods of realizing devotional service, should be practiced in the association of devotees. Gradually, by such association, by the influence of the spiritual matter, one's material desire to dominate is removed, and one becomes firmly situated in the Lord's transcendental loving service. This method is prescribed from the 22nd to the last verse of this chapter. Devotional service to the Lord is very simple. One should always engage in the service of the Lord, should eat the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the deity, smell the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, see the places where the Lord has his transcendental pastimes, read the different activities of the Lord, his reciprocation of love with his devotees, chant always the transcendental vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and observe the fasting days, commemorating the appearances and disappearances of the Lord and his devotees. By following such a process, one becomes completely detached from all material activities. One who can thus situate himself in the Brahma Jyoti or the different varieties of the Brahman conception is equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in quality. Hare Krishna.
So this is our answer. How to transcend the 3 modes? By devotional service. And what is exactly devotional service? These all points.
Okay.
One should engage in service of the Lord, should eat the remnants of foodstuff offered to the Lord, that is prasadam, smell the flower, see the places where the Lord had transcended pastimes, holy places, read Bhimad Bhagavatam, chant the holy name, reciprocate with the love of his devotees. Be good to devotees, exchange your love with the devotees. Observe Ekadashi, Janmashtami. Okay, so there is a devotee already who would do this every day, who would engage in the service of the Lord, eat prasadam, offer devotee. We read that name, right? What is his name?
Prithu Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Prithu Maharaj is also there, but there is a very specific verse that we read.
Ambarish
Maharaj, yes.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Yes, yes. So whenever we are confused, what is devotional service, then we should go to this verse of Ambarish Maharaj, which is there in Bhagavad Gita. Padara Vindayor Vanchasi Guruna Niyata. Okay. Okay. Let me take. Okay. Touch. Touch. With the word touch, we will find out. Oh, a lot of touches there. Yeah, but this is the one. Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.80. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo vacham si vaikunta gunanu varnane karor harer mandira majanadushu mukundalik shrutim chakrachutya sat kathodaye mukundalingaya darshane drisho tadbhritya gatra sparsha anga sangamam घ्राणं च तत्पाद सरोज सौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्यारसनं तत् अर्पिते पादो हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरोर्हर्षिकेश पदानि पद अभिवंदने कामं च दास्ये न तु काम कामया यथोत्तम श्लोक जनाति रत जनाश्रय रतिः. King Ambarish Maharaj fixed his mind in the lotus feet of Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of Krishna, his hands in cleaning the temple of Krishna, his ears in hearing the pastime of Krishna, his eyes in seeing the form of Krishna, his body in touching the bodies of devotees of Krishna, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of flowers offered to the lotus feet of Krishna, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to the Lord Krishna, his legs in traveling to Vrindavan, Mayapur, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, and what?
Navadvipa.
ISKCON Whitefield. His head in offering obeisances to Krishna's deities and to devotees, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. What are the desires of the Lord? What is the desire of Lord Chaitanya?
To chant
Chanting Hare Krishna mantra.
Okay,
Nama
chanting.
Sankirtana, Prabhuji.
And what? Chanting and
Sankirtana.
Eating only the
Sankirtana,
prasad.
spreading the Krishna consciousness.
Jivana sarthak kari kara para upkar. First, perfect your life and then do para upkar.
Oh.
Help others in becoming devotees of Krishna. So how do we do that?
But by offering prasadam?
Prasadam distribution, yes.
Service in the Krishna temples.
Okay.
Preaching,
Yes.
Prabhuji, preaching also.
Preaching, yes.
Preaching his
Pastimes.
teachings.
Telling
Right.
stories.
Preaching is teachings. Next.
Reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam.
Reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, yes. And
Feasting, dancing.
feasting, dancing, chanting, book distribution, spreading, building temples of the Lord Vishnu, right? All these qualifications make him fit to be Matpara devotee. Okay. So what Ambarish Maharaj did is the guideline for all of us. If anywhere we are confused, what is Krishna consciousness, we should go to this verse and look for it. 9, 4, 18, 20.
Ninth canto.
Yeah, ninth canto. Is it 9480? 94. 18. And we should read this verse. We should read what. See, when we do service to the Lord, then bhakti arise in our heart. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Okay. Bhakti means to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Okay, so any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, how to remember so many things, Prabhuji?
Uh,
We are making notes, but still.
This chapter is very, very important, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yes,
yeah,
Mataji.
yes.
Chapter 14.
Right. I will share one more document. This particular notes. These are notes by a brahmachari. I will share this. Gaurang Priya Prabhu. So that you can use. He has done it like tables and points and so many things.
Okay.
So
You will be sending this, Prabhuji?
Huh?
You will be sending this?
Yeah, I will share this on WhatsApp.
Okay.
One more question. It might be similar like what Mataji asked. So while reading, we will feel each sloka like this is the proof for this thing, this is the proof for this thing. But yeah, in long run, nothing stays in mind. It is in air.
Sorry, again, tell me what is your question?
So my question is, Prabhuji, like when we read now today, whatever we read, like how to overcome modes, and the process is devotional service, and it is clearly mentioned. Devotional service means again what?
Yeah. Okay.
So now it is pretty much clear, Prabhuji. Like devotional service is
Right.
the way to transcend the modes, but over a period of time, long run, everything flashes out, and again the question will be like how to get over the three modes. And things were super clear, Prabhuji. It's not like things are not clear, but uh, again the confusion
So
starts. Again,
here,
Actually, we understand when you are explaining very well, we understand. But when the question of reciprocating comes, so we find it difficult to.
Oh, okay. See, first of all, okay. So for that, right, we should train our mind. Okay, we should train our mind, and okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us 8 verses. You must have heard this. Shishtastakam.
Shikshashtakam, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We should read this every day. And this
Yeah,
verse, the
every day.
second verse is very important. Third verse is very important.
Na dhanam na janam na sundari.
Trinadapi sunichena tororapi sashna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadhari. We should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should become more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of all specialties, and one should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So if we want to continue in our devotional service, we need to be humble. We need to be tolerant and we need to offer respect to everyone. And this we have to practice in our daily life. And it will be a struggle. But if we keep practicing over a period of time, then we will have some stability. And then we can, in a humble state of mind, we will do all our services, including chanting. Okay. So this is the key. Does that help, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And there is one more thing that I want to tell. We learn from other devotees who have this quality. And that is even more secret than this verse. This verse says you have to be humble, you have to be, offer respect to all and become tolerant. And then we may think, how to get this? And the answer to that is, if we serve those who are humble, tolerant, and offering respect to all, then we automatically get those qualities in us. Okay? Yeah. So that is the key. So if we get an association of pure devotees, very advanced devotees, then we should serve them. We should serve them by being attentive in hearing when they are speaking. We should offer them some service. We should offer them some dakshina. And we should follow what they are trying to tell us. That is the way of serving them. Okay?
Prabhuji, that means we have to find out the bona fide spiritual master.
Yes,
right?
Spiritual master and advanced devotees.
Okay.
And we will get. And even a love matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. Even if it is for a very short moment, that association, but that is enough for sarva siddhi hoy, for perfection. Okay. So yes. So in our daily prayers, we should include this prayer. Chetudarpana
Marjanam. Very nice prayer.
Yes. So read this, memorize it, and memorize the Padarvinde prayer of Ambrish Maharaj. And every day we should think about it. Oh, what did they do and what I am doing? And how can I do exactly what they are doing? And then by that very thought, by that very thought, we slowly advance. But then it is sure. Okay? Does that help, Mataji?
Yes.
Yeah. So don't be so depressed and all that, Be little enthusiastic. And yeah.
When you explain, Prabhuji, we definitely understand everything. But after some time, we feel what we are.
Yeah, we have to then do. See, when we hear Shravanam, then we have to do Smaranam.
Yes.
We have to remember. So remember what all has been read and all that, Shravanam, Smaranam, Kirtanam. Yeah. See, nectar of instruction is very important. And this is the verse that Rupa Goswami says that we should follow in our devotional life. Utsahan nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sanga tyaget sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasiddhati. So how come the bhakti will advance? Sure shot. If we do the above 6 things. What is that? Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principles, abandoning the association of non-devotees, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly will assure complete success of pure devotion service. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any other question?
As of now, it's okay, Prabhuji. When we are doing the exam only, we don't know what we are going to do.
The exam is fine. We are not preparing for exam.
Yeah. I know that, but this
We are
is
see, our approach to Krishna consciousness, books and all that should be for exam and beyond it.
mm,
Yes.
yes.
So think beyond it
How
and
to advance in devotional service, how to approach Krishna.
yeah, Amrish Maharaj, sloka we should know, Cheto Darpana Marjan we should know, this nectar
Mm.
of instruction we should know, and we should keep reminding us slowly, slowly, And if we get association of pure devotees, then everything becomes very easy,
Mm.
and we will get. It's not that you won't get.
So visiting Whitefield is important every time. We
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
visit. So
Take
that
take
we can.
association of devotees, especially when there is yatra, right? Try to go to yatra with
Mm.
devotees. That
But
is a
this
very
actually.
different experience.
Mm.
Hmm?
Actually, first was there Prabhuji, but main thing is that we stay very far. No, early morning coming to the Whitefield, it's difficult.